Hello. Welcome to our beautiful studio. It's so nice to be back in here and to actually have the urge and the surge and the creativity and the inspiration coming through me after what's felt like quite a bit of time in the bit of hermiting cave vibes for me personally. And it's just wonderful to be able to come in and have this beautiful space that Craig, my husband, has created, and the quality of it to be so high and to utilize it to share the inspiration that's been streaming through me just recently. And those of you that know a little bit about my journey, this is my third renaming of my podcast. So she's gone through many versions. And if you know anything about human design, which I'm going to share with you about because that's my passion at the very moment and has been for a while. Um that's what I want to talk to you about so much. But as a manifesting generator, we're meant to be multi passionate beings. And so it makes sense that my podcast started back when Birdie was a baby. And it was all about just like my early motherhood journey. And then it kind of swapped into something else. I think it was called Wild Heart Woman for a while. And after birthing my son, I believe. And now it just feels right to move her into the space of human design, specifically from a mother's point of view, because you guys, that's what this is all about. That's what I've come to shout from the rooftops. If you've been following my journey on my social media page for a while now, you would have seen that I'm very much passionate about the the system of human design. And I want to speak to a little bit of that, like a little intro around that and kind of about me, especially if someone's new to listening and just some exciting things that are coming through that I'd like to share with you. So let's let's start at the beginning, shall we? So yes, this is my Mothering by Design podcast where I will plan to share inspiration, stories, wisdom, lived experience with you all around how can we use human design to create a more easeful, joyful, even and cohesive way of being a family unit with human design as our compass. But really, the human design points back to our own inner compass, which is what is so exciting to me and what I love about it so much. Um, so I'm Chrissy, and I am a mother to two beautiful children. My daughter is 5 years old at the time that I'm recording this, and my son is just about to turn 18 months, which is wild. And I am married to a beautiful man named Craig, and we live on the Sunshine Coast of Australia in a beautiful property called Shambhala Farm. And this is our studio, Shambhala Studio. And so, my journey into human design, I would like to share a tiny bit, a little snippet of that. Is basically how it started for me as a new mother. You know, it's already so it's beautiful, it's exciting, it's tender, it's precious, and it's so overwhelming at the same time, right? It's everything, it's all of it. And when my daughter was born, um, there was a lot going on for me around like being able to breastfeed her and things like that, having low supply and all of that. And so I was really focused on that. But I remember not long after she was born is when I first stumbled upon human design and I started to read about um, my own design and who I was. And, based on human design. And it's basically what human design system is it's science and spiritual. I think it's this beautiful combo of science and spiritual. And it's a system that, based on your birthplace, your birth time, and your birth date, similar to astrology. And it kind of basically spits out this chart, which I can show you. It looks like this, which obviously, when you first look at it, if you've never seen it before, I know that it can look kind of wild and overwhelming and lots of layers. And it does look like that. And there are a lot of layers to it, to be honest. It's really a multi-layered system. But basically, it takes your, birth details, and it shows you at the time of your birth, almost like an energetic snapshot of who you came here to be. So when we are born, we our human design shows us, our blueprint shows us exactly who our soul wanted to show up as, and how, um almost like this is us. This is who I came here to be. Now, so basically we come here just perfectly designed. There's no need to change or alter the the design in any way. And so what I found when I found human design and I realized what it was showing me is that everything I thought was weird, everything that I thought was wrong, everything that I felt funky about myself, or had been told that was a little bit weird, or I need to change it, or, all the things that we're told as we're growing up, and by the world, um was actually my superpowers, and I was actually doing life the way I was meant to back when I was a kid. And as a manifesting generator, that means pivoting often, getting really excited about something, learning about it quickly, and then when I learn about it and I'm done with it, the universe goes, "Here, start this other project. Here's another passion." Which has definitely been the case for me as I've moved through my life. And that's right. As a manifesting generator, I actually came here to show the world it's okay to not do it as a linear path. And it's okay to do life actually a little bit on the weird side, like taking this path that no one's ever seen before. I actually think I had a dream about that where I was like, I was taking this path, and I was like almost just like carving it out. And people behind me were like, "Where did you see that path?" I think this was in my dream last night. And I was like, I didn't see it. I made it. And I remember even in my dream laughing because it was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what Manny Gens are here to do. They're here. Mm, excuse me as I drink my cuppa. We're here to show the world that there's not just this one way to live, this one way to be as a person, and it's actually okay to do it a little bit different and to do it a lot different. And we're here to carve out new ways of doing life. And I can definitely say to you, that's what I've been doing in my life for a long time now, since I kind of gave myself permission to be who I was. And that's what I loved about human design when I first found it, was that it gave me permission to be this beautiful, weird, unique version of Chrissy that I knew I was in deep inside, but I, probably had altered a bit and tried to make a bit shinier and, kind of rubbed out some of the weird spots or whatever. And especially as a mother, when I learned my daughter's design, oh my word, it was so relieving and empowering for me because it made me go, "All right, okay. So she's just already who she is, and I just need to kind of take my hands off the wheel so much thinking I have control over this." And because there's so much noise out there in regards to the the world of parenting, there's so much noise, right? It's overwhelming. We're in information overload. We're in that world now. And especially if you talk about parenting, or if you're a mom on Instagram or Facebook or anything, you can't help but be a little bit bombarded. And I remember as a young, being a new mother, not a young mother, but a new mother, it was overwhelming to me. And I was trying to, like, learn about gentle parenting and conscious parenting and la 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 and all the terms. And then I found human design and I was like, oh, I actually don't need all of those fancy things, because I just need to know her design and give myself permission to allow my daughter to be this beautiful creature that she came here to be, and to stop trying to think that I need to mold or control her or fix her or, change her in any way. And so it just felt so empowering and liberating. And since then, I've been integrating it in our family and in our lives. And because in human design, I've learned about my profile, which I will on another podcast talk about that. But I'm a line one, and it's the people who are the investigators. And I went deep into the study of human design. This was without even taking a course or anything. So I feel like, especially as a I've a manifesting generator, I've gone deep into the study of human design when I first found it. And then learned a lot about me, learned a lot about my partner. It really changed the relationship with Craig. Like, I thought we were in a good space, and then I was like, "Wow, we're in an even better place as a married couple now because I get who he is now. I get who he came here to be. I see him in his full beauty of being the projector man that he came here to be, which is one of the energy types. And whereas before, I think it was a little bit like, well, why are you so different than me? And why can't we be a little bit the same? And, that whole idea, like, can you just be a little bit more, do it a little bit more like me? And I'm going to try and change you. Whereas now with human design, our marriage is in a really good place because I'm not trying to change him. He's not trying to change me. And actually, we're just like listening and hearing each other better than for the first time in a long time. And I really, that's an attestament to human design. But as a mother, it was so beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, it still was hard, but it was like, oh, I get it. I have her blueprint. I have like almost like the manual. Everyone's like, does this baby come with a manual? And I'm like, this baby does. Actually, like human design goes, yes. So that's why I want to share more about this because now, since learning about it when Birdie was little, and that was like 5 years ago, and then integrating it and learning more and more and more, and then not long after having Cosmo, I kind of was quite postpartum, and I was listening to every single human design podcast, especially a specific teacher of mine that I was listening, like just diving into her stuff, listening to all podcasts, every tool, every book, like, bought the founder's book, Ra Uruhu. I bought his book. It was this huge Bible. And I was like, okay. And then Craig's like, I think you should just go and take a course. So I did my training as well. And that was beautiful and so amazing. And it's nonstop. It's called the human design experiment, and that's for a reason because it never stops. You never stop experimenting. It's always something new to learn. There's always something more to dive into as a human because there's always conditioning to deconditioning to do because we all come here as our beautiful perfect blueprint, and then we all are conditioned to be different than what we are came here to be. That's just part of life, especially when our parents, and this is not a blaming, it's just our parents didn't know about human design. They didn't know that yet. And so I had conditioning. And so probably did you if you're listening. Like you're probably moving through your own deconditioning process if you're anywhere in that world of like I don't know how else to say it, but like the spiritual world and trying to just come back to the words authentic. Sometimes it's overused, but it's true. Like come back to who you authentically came here to be because we can all feel sometimes. I think we can really feel that in our bodies. Our bodies are always telling us that if we're on track or not. Our bodies are always trying to speak and work with the universe about where we're going next. And when we learn our design and the beauty of human design, which I should have said at the beginning, the system, not only does it tell us who we came here to be, it shows us how our energy is meant to move through the world. It shows us how we're best meant to make things happen and how we're best meant to make decisions, let alone things like our best environment to be in, our digestion, like, all these amazing things that it's it's actually so simple. Once we get into the more of the topics of human design, you'll find out. I highly encourage you to hop onto my website, chrissybethcoaching.com. I won't spell it, but chrissybethcoaching.com. And you will see on the first page, on my landing page, is a free chart. You just put your name, your name, your details in, as far as I mean birth details, and you will see your chart. You will find out basically who you came here to be. It is amazing. And so if you've never done it, go do it now. Do it, do it, do it. It's so exciting. And then in my podcast and all my episodes, I'm going to speak to you about little nuggets of things that hopefully are really supportive because what I've found since learning about how I'm meant to move my energy through the world, how Craig's meant to move his energy, how my daughter and now my son, how they're meant to move through the world, what they came here to be, how do they best digest information and food? How do they best need to rest and have bedtime routines? How do I support them to actually be the person that they came here to be? How do I do that? That's what human design has given me as a mother. And so I want to support other moms to have this information and have these tools because we all know that it's challenging enough as it is every day, trying to show up and be the best mama or papa that you can be the best parent for your babies. And it's not easy. And then we've got all this information being thrown at us about what to do, what not to do, so we don't like mess them up. But what I want to say to you is that you already know what to do. It's inside of you. There's nowhere else you need to go. You don't need to take someone's formula and try and figure it out and, place it on yourself and your family. You actually don't need to do that because once you learn your human design blueprint and your babies, it's there for you. You've already got the map. Sometimes we just got to figure out, okay, what is that map? Where is that map? How does it look? So that's what I want to talk to you about. And that's kind of that's my journey. That's a shorter version of my story of my journey of how I went from like, early mama, early motherhood to like a bit overwhelmed and like, wow, there's a lot going on here. And like, it's not that I didn't already trust myself. I could feel that I knew what to do. I could feel that it was in my body. But it's like when I found the system of human design, it was like I could pinpoint exactly what I need to listen to know to follow my authority, if you will, to follow my inner voice when it came to being a mother. Whereas what I'm really passionate about now is to speak to people about, you can say tell someone follow your gut. Listen to your gut. Follow your heart. Follow your intuition. And that's like really sounds great. And I've said that for years. Like when I used to teach yoga back in the city when I lived in Brisbane in my other life before this, my biggest thing that I loved to talk about was, opening your heart and following your heart and listening to your heart. And I still love that I taught that way and I spoke to that so passionately. But now I'm like, I want to go back and be like, now I have the system that shows you like, see, you have this kind of authority. So you're going to you're going to listen to your gut, but you have this kind of authority, which is splenic authority. So you've got like more of this instinctual, quick, like survival skills, like voice that will come to you. And then you have emotional authority. So what I'm saying is that the system, human design is so beautifully laid out for us. And our little maps that we each have in our chart shows us exactly what it means to follow your intuition. Because it sounds so vague now, doesn't it? Now that I listen to it, I'm like, what does that even mean for everyone? Everyone's different. So if this is exciting to you at all, stay tuned. um, so what I want to say is that again, I'm passionate about this for mothers specifically. And since I've been, went and did my study and then of course went crazy and started to offer free human design readings to anyone. I'm like, here, come and get a reading from me to anyone that was keen at all. And I loved it. And it was just like every time I do a reading still, I get so much out of it myself because I learn something new every time, of course, because everyone's so unique. And that's what human design is here to remind us, right? Like the world wants us to stay. I feel like society likes it when we're all a little bit similar and we all kind of look alike and act alike and we follow the rules, right? Everyone's kind of doing their thing, stay sort of homogenized. And human design is not that. It's actually the opposite. It's saying we are all born very unique and here's what that looks like for you. And let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that our partners are so much different than us. Let's celebrate that our children came here with such unique superpowers and gifts, which every design shows you. Every chart shows you what's your unique superpowers, what's your unique gifts, right? Sometimes we forget that we've come with all of these things. And I love doing these readings for that reason because sometimes, especially women, we just have this like self-doubt or we put ourselves down or we don't speak to our superpowers enough or we don't lift ourselves up enough. And I love when I get to see a woman's face and when I'm telling her about her superpowers, and she's like, she knew. She was like, I knew I was like this. I just forgot. Right? Sometimes we forget that we have it inside of us. We have these superpowers inside of us, and we're constantly searching in the external world for the answer or for that thing to give us that confidence. So, in regards to being a mother, mothering by design, which is what I'm calling this podcast, I want to support you, mama, to feel confident in knowing your child and how they came here to how they showed up here in the world and what they're meant to how they're meant to use their energy. And also from your point of view as a mother, what's your energy type? What's your design say about you? How is it best for you to mother? What does that look like for you? It's going to look really different than your friend over here or your neighbor or me. And that's perfect. So what I've done, what I've done, let me just have a sip, is I've created a Mothering by Design live group 6-week course. And I'm going to share on my podcast. I'm always sharing on my Instagram, you know, platform little snippets of stories of like me as a mother using human design, and I'm all about embodying it. Like it's so much information sometimes when you first get a reading and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much information, I'm in my brain. But human design says, don't live up here, come back into your body, because none of the things that we're actually meant to move towards or decide come from here, come from our mind. It's not logical. All of it's in the body. It's all held in the body. The wisdom is in the body. And that's what I love about human design, because I've always felt that and known that deeply, even as a child, very sensitive and known that it's in my body. So it was beautiful to find this system that was like, yep, you were right. It's not in your brain. You can't do it from your brain. And so I'm going to share with you all these things through the podcast episodes, and also on my, on my platform. I'm going to share information with you. I want to give you knowledge. I want to give it away as much as I can. And also, I would love, if it's exciting to you, if this lights you up at all, if this feels like something that you're interested in, I would love for you to join me. I'm going to be speaking to this more and give more details soon. But I've created, yes, a 6-week. It's going to be a live group container held by myself, which I think is one of my superpowers, to create really safe spaces for women, which is something I've been doing for years and years and years. I've been doing it with our women's circles here at Shambhala. And now I want to do this in regards to specifically mothers and human design, so that you can feel empowered, so that you can feel that you know that you've got it inside of you, because you do. You've just probably forgotten or been told that you need to look outside of yourself all the time for the answers, and with the 50 million formulas of how to parent correctly in our world now. So what I'm doing is I've packaged it into a simplified version of how to break down your chart. You're going to learn about your chart, your child's blueprint as well. We're going to break down like the energy type, strategy, authority, the different centers that you see in the chart, which is all those different shapes. And also speak to like digestion, environment, routines, things like that, as well as what I'm really passionate about is holding the mothers and giving you this beautiful perspective of, as a mother who's say a projector mother, or if you're an energy type of a manifesting generator like myself, or if you're a manifestor mother, and giving you these tools from that lens of, how can I mother in a way that's nourishing for me? How can I fill up my own cup? How can I regulate my nervous system based on your energy type and your design? So we're going to cover all of these things within a 6-week container with like-minded other mothers, so that you can actually connect and we'll create a community. And that's what I'm so excited about, because more than ever, I feel we're in this time where everyone wants more connection and community. So we'll do these once a week live Zoom calls, and I'll be here in my studio, and we'll connect for 90 minutes. And I'm just so excited. I really wish I was starting now. but I have to tell you about it first so that you can join me. So if this sounds something that's like lighting you up in any way, or you're interested to learn more, or you're just like, okay, I want to know when it's open because it's going to happen soon. I'm going to open the doors soon. I'd love for you to join my wait list, and Um, I'll give the details here, and you can just like look at the caption and learn more about how you can get on the wait list. Make sure that you do so that you don't miss it, because I don't want it to be like this huge group. I'd love to keep it in an intimate group of mothers. So that's what I've been working on, and that's been yeah, really beautiful, really powerful. Um for me, because I've been in a container of my own, which has been mm, more of like a hermit. I went through a lot of grief, actually. We had a beautiful business, Shambhala Yogashala, which I'm so proud of. We ran that for about 8 years, and then we closed the doors on that because my authority, my gut was telling me it was time for a while, and then I finally made the choice and the decision to close the doors, which was so challenging and huge. But I listened to my authority, and it was the right thing. But still hard and a grieving process because like an identity sort of cut. And then not long after that, my very best friend in the world who was living here on the land with us, they left and moved across the world to Canada, and that was huge. And then it was like not long after that, I got really sick. So and then it's like my body forced me to kind of go inside myself and really like process the grief and process all of these chapters closing, the doors closing. And then it's only been in this last and that's been months ago, and it's only been now in these last few weeks that I've felt, and we're also coming into spring here, of course, so it makes sense that seasonally it's everything's starting to open back up and bloom again. So it makes sense now that it's like it's coming through me. I can feel the energy is coming through me. I have the space and the energy and the desire, and such desire and urge to hold space for other mothers, for other women. Because not that I can always say to you, I'm not getting it right every day. Oh my goodness. Like there's so much that I have to learn, and that's why it's called an experiment. I'm experimenting every day. So we'll be experimenting together. But I feel a really beautiful way of breaking down this system into um, a simplified version, applicable, practical, giving you tools, giving you rituals, giving you what you need for your everyday life to make it as simple as possible for you to apply it and then embody it, because that's what it's like, can you know it? Sure, that's cool. You know about your authority, you know about what's your best environment to be in, you know about your digestion, that's cool. But none of it matters if you don't integrate and embody your design. If you're not living it in your body, it doesn't matter how much you know. And that's what I'm passionate about, because now that I see myself really integrating it, I see I see the gifts. I see the superpowers coming through me. I see the dream the dream days. Like I wake up, I'm so happy to be alive. I wake up and I'm doing things that I love. I'm with my family, which is a huge value of mine. I'm with my family all the time, my kids. My partner and I were working together. He's helping to support me with this. And none of it would be possible if I wasn't living in my design. I truly believe that. So if this again, if any of this lights you up, if any of this is a yes, make sure you get on my wait list. I would love to have you join our group, Mothering by Design, my 6-week live course. I'm so excited. And one of the things I thought I'd share is, just before I wrap it up, is I don't know how long this is going even because I don't know how to tell that when I'm recording here. This is my partner's, he's the tech guy. Um, I've got some slides here. So if you are watching the video, I've created some slides, and it's from the lens of if you are this as a parent. Um, so I'm just going to bring those slides up. And this is the slide for the projector parent. This is just a simple thing that I created for a beautiful um recording that I did with a lovely woman named Kat and for her community. But I'm just sharing a little bit of this perspective from the parenting lens from you as a mother. And we're going to, of course, dive into your child's blueprint as well. But this is for you. So this is a projector parent. And I have listed just 3 bullet points on, some simple things around like, what does that mean? What does that look like? And we do hear a lot about projectors needing rest. And some projectors, get a bit annoyed hearing that. Of course, I get that. Now, some projectors, they might be able to go for longer periods of time or whatever and work and hustle, things like that. But it's definitely not what they came here to do. Projectors came here to be the guides. They came here as the wise ones, the seers, the ones that sit up higher than the rest of us in the tree and they have the view that we just none of us can have. Right? So they need rest, and it's really important for them to be recognized for their wisdom. When someone sees the projector for who they are and who they came here to be, which is that seer, that wise one, the one that has guidance and wisdom, that is their full body yes. That's what they came here for. When they are seen and they are invited in, they that feels successful for a projector. So I don't know if that feels right for you. If you know you're a projector, just feel that in your body. And also, you're not meant to just keep up and go, 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 go. So as a parent, this can be tricky, right? Because isn't parenting sometimes like go, 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 go? But this is where you also teach your child, actually, it's really powerful for me to rest. And I'm going to be a better mother if I have 2 hours to put my feet up and you play a game next to me, you read a book, you listen to stories, whatever works for you. And this is where we'll talk about this in the container, like ways that we can support ourselves as mothers. So the projector parent is not here to just endlessly go, 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 because you don't have the sacral center defined, right? You don't have that constant, like that battery that's going, going, going. You are going to feel parenting for you will feel easier when you allow space for invitations instead of forcing your opinion. So, this is the strategy. For a projector, you want to wait for an invitation. And I'm going to go deeper into this in another podcast episode, but around strategy. But this is all about instead of you, because you will know and you will see a better way than most of the people around you. And instead of forcing that on them, and this is even to your kids, it's really powerful for you to step back a little, wait for the invite before forcing the opinion or the guidance. Because often when it's forced, it kind of comes straight back into your face and gets thrown back at you. And people are like, ugh, you know, I didn't ask for that. And then you get bitter and you get angry, right? Because you, they're not seeing your advice and wisdom. They're not accepting it. Um, so even as a parent, it can be really powerful to allow yourself to step back a little, even though you probably will always see an easier way and a more efficient way forward. And honestly, your child, projector mama, they chose you because you were going to always have, you will have this wisdom and presence over the hustle. They didn't choose you to be the go, 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 go parent. They actually chose you because of your wisdom and the presence that you bring and the powerful presence that you bring to their lives, their life. So that is, I truly believe that children of projector parents, that's why they chose them. That's why they chose you. They didn't choose you to be the, I'm going to take you to this and do this and then like go, 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 go until I'm like exhausted and I'm burnt out. Mm-mm. No, but it is a perspective shift because we are all being in our society, we are still running on this idea that everyone's a generator, which is like someone who came here to be the juicy, like lit up, battery charged all day, every day type of person. That's the energy type of a generator. They came here with a sacral center defined, which means they do wake up with a full battery and then they go, as long as they're doing the things they love, they can go all day. Now, a projector didn't come here to be that way, to move that way through the world. So what human design is hopefully doing for us now and for future generations and is teaching us that it's actually more powerful for the projector to stop, rest, and then they're going to have so much more to give their families. They're going to have so much more to give the world, so much more wisdom, right? But they have to decondition from thinking that they need to be a generator and go, 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 go. But that's a tricky one because when you've had it stuffed down your, stuffed into you that like you've got to be like this, especially from parents or school if you were in the school system. So yeah, that's a whole other conversation. So I don't want to get sidetracked, but I will wrap this up now. So I really, if you're still listening, thank you for being here. It's really beautiful to be able to share my voice again with the world and just share what I'm passionate about right now and what I have been for a long time, but I just never have spoken about it this way in this kind of form. And it's been calling to me for a while, and so it's really beautiful to actually finally be here in this space on this couch, letting you hear my lived experience as a mama with human design as my compass. Thank you so much. I can't wait to share more with you. We're definitely going to dive in the next podcast episode. I'd like to speak to more around the energy types and really get into that. But if you are at all interested in learning more and just diving in with me and getting more connected to other mamas who are wanting to parent a different way and really lean into your innate authority and wisdom in my Mothering by Design course, please make sure you get on my wait list. I would love to have you in there. It's going to be super special. So thank you again for listening, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye.